What is going on? Today we're going to review the movie Downsizing. Now, the first thing I want to say about this movie is I'm really disappointed in you, in the audience. I took a look at the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score is lower than the critic score. What I thought going into the movie is that this is going to be a comedy with Matt Damon, Jason Sudeikis, and Kristen Wiig, and it's going to be some sort of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie with giant insects. Now, I thought this because of the way they marketed the movie. Well, I saw Kristen Wiig and I saw Jason Sudeikis, and I thought this was going to be comedy with Matt Damon in it. This movie is not a comedy. It's a 100% social commentary movie about what we're doing to our planet, about people who live on the margins of society, about how we treat such people or how we choose to ignore them. This movie's anything but a comedy. And it seems to me that a lot of people went into this movie thinking they were going to watch a comedy, and then they got this social messaging and they got turned off. So that's one kind of people, I think, that disliked the movie because they thought, well, this is all this SJW stuff. I don't want to see it. And then there's another group of people who also didn't like the movie. These are the real SJWs. They saw this movie and they saw a character, a Vietnamese character, which was really an over-the-top character, had an over-the-top accent. It seemed over the top, but I don't really know what a Vietnamese accent is. So it's possible that it's very over the top, but even if it is over the top, it was a fantastic character. I loved that character. To me, she was the best thing about this movie. First, the anti-SJWs got ticked off because it was too much social commentary. And then there's the real SJWs, who got ticked off because they thought it was disrespecting the Vietnamese or something. And it wasn't disrespecting anybody. So the reason the score of this movie is so low is because the anti-SJWs and the SJWs, they both got mad because of different things and they both voted it down. It's a beautiful movie with beautiful comments on our society, about how we live with this earth and with each other. What the story really is about is that some scientist discovers a way to shrink human beings. And a lot of people decide, hey, let's shrink ourselves because we're going to have a lower carbon footprint on the planet so that the planet can survive. So that's what happened in the beginning. And a lot of people decided to shrink themselves to leave a lower carbon footprint. But what was also true is that if you have like $100,000 in this world, then it translates to about $10 million in the smaller world. So a lot of people who are having trouble in the real world decided, hey, I'm going to shrink myself and live a lavish lifestyle in the smaller world. So a lot of people who are not necessarily environmentalists, they started shrinking themselves. And Matt Damon's character wasn't doing so well, so he decided to shrink himself. So this is the premise of the movie. Everybody's supposed to live in some sort of utopia, but what happens in the movie is you discover that not everybody is living in this utopia, even in this smaller world. And the way they reveal it is not, they're not preachy. They're not. It's not some Vietnamese woman teaching a white man what the world is about. It's not. The setup of the movie and the premise is too long. I agree. But I still forgive it because of the kinds of turns this movie takes in all these beautiful ways. And this movie truly is like reading a book and being surprised. You expect to read a certain kind of book and then you discover a character that's you're not expecting. And Hong Chow, who plays the character of the Vietnamese woman, is so great in it. I want to see her in so many more movies. She's the best thing in this movie. Truly, they should have marketed this movie differently. They should have. It was a mistake. It was a marketing mistake. This movie is a beautiful movie and it's 100% a marketing tragedy. I don't know what to say. This Rotten Tomatoes score is bullshit. You should go watch this movie. It's an 8.5 out of 10. I really want to give it a 9, but I'm going to give it an 8.5 because of the long beginning. It's a great movie. Alexander Payne, the director, I think outdoes himself. I think he did a phenomenal job. Truly. And I think that the people at Paramount ruined this movie by marketing the wrong aspects of this film. That's what I think happened. This movie should have made a lot more money than it has so far. You should go watch this movie. 8.5 out of 10.